Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of Starlink 10-26 mission launching from the Space Coast, that is from the pad Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. We hope you all are doing fine and excited about the upcoming SpaceX Falcon 9 launch of Starlink, which marks 284th dedicated Starlink launch. Well, if this is your first time joining us, hi, my name is Dipta Maitra. I'll be your friend and the host providing commentary for today's mission launch, and you are watching AstroYonder live.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around.
Houston, we see a nominal MECO. Welcome to space.
We are super excited bringing you the coverage of SpaceX's 519th overall launch and the 91st Falcon 9 launch of this year. This launch marks the 506th Falcon 9 launch overall. Also, today's launch is the 60th one from the Space Coast as SpaceX is on its way building their record-breaking launch cadence for this year. We are currently standing by for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 5:01 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:01 hours UTC from Florida for a northeasterly launch for SpaceX Starlink mission. Today's Starlink mission 10-26 will launch 28 version 2 mini-optimized Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Now, before we dive into the mission details, on behalf of AstroYonder team and our awesome moderators, thank you all for joining us for today's launch. We are so grateful to have you as part of the stream. Really appreciate you being here, and a huge shout out to our amazing YouTube community for the support as we bring you detailed coverage of space launches with all the stats and in-depth insights. Really grateful to have you all here with us. Would love it if you guys could join the chat and let us know where you are joining from. Also, please feel free to share any questions, suggestions, or opinion with us. That will also make us to improve our streams and to meet your expectations. Would really love to hear from you guys. Now, just a heads up, it's me only managing the launch coverages on my own. So if by chance we face any technical hiccups or issues, kindly bear with me and hang tight. There is absolutely nothing to worry. You won't miss out anything, and I will do my best to guide you through the upcoming Falcon 9 rocket launch happening in approximately 42 minutes from now. Now let's get into the mission details. According to the 45th Weather Squadron officials, today it's a quite promising and fair weather conditions for the launch. The report suggests that there is a 95% chances of favorable weather conditions at the time of launch, with only 5% launch weather constraint violations related to cumulus cloud rule. Otherwise, it's a 95% go for today's launch. The forecast calls for a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius, clear skies with 0% cloud cover, and a wind speed of 5 miles per hour. Now, one thing, did you notice that we are now just 10 launches away to reach the 100th launch of SpaceX for this year? Again, another milestone for them waiting around the corner. Now let's get into the mission details and take a look at the payload details for Starlink Group 10-26. But just a reminder, today's payload does not consist any of direct-to-cell satellites. Starlink satellite built in Redmond, Washington. Today's payload consists of 28 of the newer optimized Starlink version 2 satellites. This launch marks the 65th dedicated Starlink launch for this year, and before this launch, SpaceX had already sent up 1,583 Starlink satellites in 2025 alone. With this one, the count jumps to 1,611, crossing the 1,500 mark. And if we include the 22 version 3 variants launched on the previous 3 Starship flights this year, then it's a total of 1,633 Starlink satellites launched this year. Really an incredible pace. Now, each of these version 2 mini satellites comes with 5 advanced Ku band phased array antennas, 3 dual band parabolic antennas utilizing Ka and E band, and a 100-foot wide solar array that splits into 2 aeroneutral wings for agile space maneuvers. They are also equipped with high capacity battery to power everything on board. Each Starlink satellite features 3 space laser transponders, also known as optical inter-satellite links, or ISL in short, for communicating with space lasers moving data at speeds up to 200 Gbps. Now, for maneuvering in space, these satellites uses Hall effect thrusters powered by argon, which was previously based on krypton. And the switch between these two propellant was basically due to the cost effectiveness of argon compared to the krypton. Today's batch is going to be deployed initially in an orbit with an altitude of approximately 263 kilometers with an inclination of 53.16 degrees. But the operational orbit will be up to around 279 kilometers with the same inclination, that is of 53.16 degrees. This optimized version 2 mini weighs approximately 1,268 pounds or 575 kilograms, which is about 22% lighter than the original version 2 mini design. Now, just to provide you a frame of reference, the unoptimized version 2 mini weighs around 1,763 pounds, which is equivalent to 800 kilograms. So that's just the weight of one Starlink. If we consider the whole batch, it makes a huge difference if we are going with the optimized version 2 mini satellites. Starlink satellites uses custom-built star tracker to find their position, altitude, and orientation for optimal broadband throughput, and each one has 4 reaction wheels as well for precise attitude control, plus a hot spare setup for the reliability. The aluminum flywheel is designed to safely burn up at the end of their useful life upon re-entry. Additionally, they have an onboard autonomous collision avoidance system that uses US Department of Defense debris tracking database for avoiding collisions with space junk and other spacecraft and other Starlink satellites, all autonomously. Now, to understand the importance of autonomous collision avoidance system, here is a quick short context. According to a SpaceX report published last year, Starlink satellite performs 275 collision avoidance maneuvers each day. And in that course of past 6 months, when this report got published, Starlink satellite performed 50,000 collision avoidance maneuvers. So these big numbers, I hope it can make you sense the significance of an autonomous collision avoidance system. Now, let's break down the optimization made in Starlink's version 2 minis and how SpaceX is ramping up the number of satellites with each launch. So, firstly, the basic and key optimization is a 22% weight reduction, bringing each satellite's launch mass to approximately 575 kilograms compared to the original version 2 mini's 800 kilograms. That makes a huge difference considering a batch of satellites. This lighter design, achieved through upgraded avionics, propulsion, and power systems, allowing more satellites to fit within the Falcon 9's payload capacity. Additional enhancement includes a Doppler dual band antenna for improved bandwidth, which operates up to 96 Gbps per satellite, and mass optimized components tailored for efficient stacking and deployment. So all thanks to this optimization, which allows Falcon 9 to carry up to 29 satellites per mission, which is around 6 more than the original version 2 mini design. Now some quick fun facts. The first launch of Starlink version 2 mini with 21 satellite took place with Starlink Group 6-1 mission from Cape Canaveral on February 27 back in 2023. Then with the Starlink 6-39 mission launch again from Cape on February 25, 2024 last year, SpaceX increased the number to 24 version 2 minis, the highest count at that time. But starting this year on January 21st, 2025 with Group 11-8, SpaceX launched 27 optimized version 2 mini satellites for the first time. That record was soon broken on March 31st, 2025 with Group 6-80 mission, which carried 28 optimized version 2 minis. And most recently, on May 4th, 2025, the Starlink Group 6-84 mission, SpaceX set a new record with 29 version 2 mini satellites launched, marking the biggest batch of version 2 mini variants so far. In comparison, the highest for version 1 is 60 satellites, and for the version 1.5, it's 56. Now, with today's launch, it marks the 34th time SpaceX launching its optimized version 2 mini variant, bringing the total to 923 number of satellites. Today is the 11th time they are launching a batch of 28 Starlink satellites. Now, I know it's early in the stream, but just a quick request, if you feel that we are adding value to your viewing experience, please consider giving this stream a like. It helps this stream to get discovered by amazing space enthusiasts like you who are joining us right now. We would be super grateful for your kind support. Meanwhile, before moving on, would like to welcome Simon Haga for joining us from Denmark. After a long while, Simon, well, as always, Simon doesn't likes him to be addressed on the live stream. So let me just text him that how he's doing. Now, we were talking about the optimization of the version 2 mini satellites. So that brings up a good question, that why are we seeing this optimized Starlink satellite so often, and why is the number of satellites per launch going up? Well, it's a smart and timely move by SpaceX that's been launching more of the version 2 mini satellites lately, and for good reason as well. These upgraded satellites are kind of a bridge designed to fill the gap until the larger version 3 the larger version 3 can fly on Starship. They are lighter, way more efficient, and can carry nearly 4 times the capacity of the earlier version 1 and version 1.5 models. That means more satellites, up to 29 of them, as SpaceX launched one time, that can hitch a ride on a single Falcon 9 launch, cutting down on costs and speeding up the deployment. It's not just about the expansion though, it's also about maintaining and improving the current network, with the older satellites reaching the end of their life or being deliberately deorbited, like in February last year, 2024, where SpaceX announced deorbiting 100 older version 1 satellites due to a potential flaw. There's a need to quickly fill those gaps, and recent data shows on an average 4 to 5 satellites are deorbited daily. So, to keep up global coverage and meet the growing demand, SpaceX is replacing them with these high performance version 2 minis, each one packing more capability and keeping the constellation strong, filling the gaps while the Generation 2 network, please excuse me, while the Generation 2 network of up to 30,000 satellites gradually comes together. So I hope that gives you a bit of more insight. Well, Simon, good to hear that you are good. And yes, we will be streaming the Crew 11th launch that will be happening from Pad Launch Complex 39A. And that will be the 11th rotational crew for SpaceX, launching 4 astronauts to International Space Station. And please do check out when we'll be posting those stream on our channel. As of now, we didn't post them. Soon we will be posting the all of the coverage of Crew 11 launch, including the launch, docking, and welcome ceremony. And sooner, after 2 or 3 days, I guess Crew 10 will be also returning back. So we will be streaming that as well. Now, just a reminder, SpaceX has hit some major milestones this year. The commercial GTO-1 launch marked the 500th successful Falcon 9 mission, while the June 12th Starlink launch from Vandenberg became the 500th overall successful mission. Then, just a day later, on June 13th, the Cape Canaveral launch, which completed the first generation of their direct-to-cell constellation. So those were the back-to-back incredible milestones for SpaceX. Now, just a reminder once again that SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral in Florida at 5:01 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:01 hours UTC on Saturday, July 26th of 2025, that is today. Now let's take a look at the flight record for the booster supporting today's Starlink 10-26 mission. Booster with tail number 1078 will be supporting today's mission. Today's supporting booster has 21 previous flights in its record, including missions like SpaceX Crew 6, O3B Empower B for SES, a major telecommunication operator based in Luxembourg. We recently saw one of their launch few days back. A classified launch of USSF-124 Bluebird Block 1 mission for AST Mobile's Space Mobile, and additionally, this booster supported 17 Starlink missions. The booster's turnaround time as of today is 43 days and now awaiting its 22nd flight, approximately 26 minutes away from now. The last mission supported by today's booster was Starlink Group 12-26 mission from Space Launch Complex 40 here at Cape on 13th of June this year, that is 2025. Today, it is the sixth flight of this booster for this year with previous 5 supported Starlink missions. Also worth mentioning, this booster launched the final mission for 2024 on December 31st during Starlink Group 12-6 mission launching from Pad Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. So that's all about the booster supporting today's mission with tail number 1078. Now, before moving on, would like to welcome one of our moderator joining us, Angry Bird. Thanks for tuning in, and absolutely it's fine, Angry Bird. We can understand you are busy, but thanks for showing up and thanks for tuning in, and hope you will be enjoying the stream as well. Also, you see today Simon joined us once again after a long while. Now let's have a look at the bar graph showing number of Falcon 9 launches each year. Before this upcoming launch, SpaceX completed its 90th Falcon 9 launch for this year with NASA's Tracers mission, launching from Vandenberg on July 23rd, 2025, which obscures the number of annual launches made till year 2022 by having 29 more than the launches made in that year. With today's launch of Starlink Group 10-26, the bar graph shows 91 number of Falcon 9 launches for 2025. And as of now, SpaceX is less than halfway to reach the number of launches made in year 2023 and 2024. And with today's launch, SpaceX is now only 5 behind 2023's total and 41 short of 2024. SpaceX is again aiming for another record-breaking year with around 170 to 180 launches, surpassing last year's highest annual launch count of 134 launches in total, which includes 2 Falcon Heavy missions. So that's an ambitious target they are aiming for this year, but let's hope they pull it off. Now, having your support inspires us to push forward and give our best to meet what you hope for. So if this stream fuels your love for space, give this stream a like. It's kind of fine-tuning the trajectory of our mission to build a community with amazing space enthusiasts like you joining us right now. And please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification so that you won't miss a single launch update. Here at AstroYonder, we believe together we will build the ultimate constellation of space enthusiasts. For your kind support, we would be super happy and grateful. Now, please allow us a couple of seconds and to check whether the launch is on time or not and to stay updated. So as of now, SpaceX is sticking with their current liftoff time, so no worries. Now about the pre-launch timeline, since it's a typical Falcon 9 launch for Starlink with absolutely no alteration or deviations, I will be skipping it and you can track the pre-launch timeline updating live on the upper left side of your screen. However, there is one point I would like to mention just for quick knowledge, and I guess you might be already aware of that the strong back reclining process at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center differs from that at Vandenberg. Here at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center, we recline the strong back about a degree and a half or two, whereas at Vandenberg we recline the strong back about 13 degrees away from the Falcon 9. So that's the only thing different in today's pre-launch schedule, as this is a Cape Canaveral flight. Once again, just to remind you, SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral in Florida at 5:01 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:01 hours UTC on Saturday, July 26th of 2025. Now, let's go ahead and have a look at the trajectory for today's mission. Falcon 9 leaving the pad from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral with a batch of 28 version 2 mini Starlink satellites on board for a northeast trajectory heading into low Earth orbit, that is to the 10th shell of second generation Starlink mega constellation indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line indicates where Falcon 9 first stage will land after stage separation just a little later leaving Florida Space Coast. This is going to be a droneship landing, and for today it's A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship, one of the two here at the East Coast. This will be the 119th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship to date, if successful. Now some recovery specifics for you. The planned booster recovery is approximately 595 kilometers, with estimated fairing recovery approximately 650 kilometers downrange. And the stage 2 debris re-entry will be in the southern Indian Ocean on its second orbit. Now, speaking of the landing, here are some of the stats on your screen right now related to droneship. Currently, we know there are 3 in SpaceX's droneship fleet. Of the 3 droneships, A Shortfall of Gravitas and Just Read the Instructions are based here in Florida, while of course I Still Love You is stationed in California. We are anticipating that the addition of a 4th droneship will be happening, possibly occurring late this year, or I'm not sure, maybe early next year, because we are not getting any information regarding that. Now, speaking of fairing recovery, SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel to retrieve them from the Atlantic waters. The 2 halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther, approximately 55 kilometers downrange from where the first stage lands on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship, after they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachutes. Right now on your screen, you can see how a fairing recovery operation looks like. The recovery vessel on your screen is Dirk performing the recovery operation and is also being today's supporting recovery vessel here at the East Coast. Other recovery vessels, Bob and Go Cosmos here at the East Coast and Go Beyond at the West Coast, are waiting for their next assignment. Now we have a request again for you folks. Consider giving this stream a like as your way of boosting us past max Q, passing through maximum dynamic stress of YouTube's algorithm. It really helps us to connect with more space enthusiasts like you and growing our community. And as we are burning our all day propellant to bring you the streams packed with stats and insights, we expect your kind support for us by tapping the subscribe and the bell icon. With that, you will never miss any upcoming stream like a perfectly timed launch window. Your support would really inspire us to keep up with our hard work and to meet your expectations. Now we are approximately 9 minutes away from the webcast to begin, so let's just get done quickly with the stats we have for you to share with. Today's launch marks the 519th SpaceX's overall launch and the 65th dedicated Starlink launch of this year. This also marks the 506th Falcon 9 launch to date, 22nd flight of this particular Falcon 9 booster supporting today's mission with tail number 1078, making a move after 43 days. Well, by that I mean the booster's turnaround time is 43 days. Today's mission marks 91st Falcon 9 launch and SpaceX's 94th overall launch of 2025. This will be the 446th Falcon booster reflight to date, that is the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 268th orbital launch for SpaceX, launching from Space Launch Complex 40, and the 323rd overall please excuse me, and this will be the 323rd overall orbital launch from pad Slick 40. With the success of this mission, SpaceX will have a remarkable 9,265 Starlink satellites, including 674 dedicated direct-to-cell satellites launched to date. Recently, with the Starlink Group 12-26 launch from Cape on June 13th, SpaceX completed the first generation of their direct-to-cell satellites constellation. Now moving on to some reusability statistics. This launch marks the 430th Falcon 9 booster reflight to date, 119th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship, and with this mission's first stage landing, that will be the 22nd one, SpaceX will have their 388 overall droneship landing, marking 460th Falcon 9 landing so far and 479th SpaceX's overall landing to date. Now just a note, we are not counting the landing failure on Just Read the Instructions droneship during the Starlink 12-20 mission this year, as it was a partial success. So there is a difference of 1 in the Falcon 9 and overall landing stats compared to what is listed on SpaceX's website. So please don't get confused with those numbers. Speaking of landing, here are some of the stats for droneship landings prior to today's mission. As today's mission will be supported by A Shortfall of Gravitas, the last mission supported was by this droneship was the Project Kuiper KF-1 mission back in July 16th. Once again, please note that these droneship landing stats which are now on your screen are excluding today's mission. These are prior to today's launch. Now let's move on and have a look into some key stats for SpaceX launches specifically for this year, including today's mission as well. With today's mission, SpaceX will be having its 94th launch of this year. Out of those, 65 are Starlink missions, including today's one. 26 were non-Starlink missions for commercial and government organizations, and 3 Starship launches. 86 of this mission using a reused booster, including today's booster as well. Now, if we look into the geographical distribution, we get SpaceX will be having their 60th launch from East Coast, 44 launches with today's mission from Space Launch Complex 40. On the West Coast, having 31 launches, that is from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base. As of now, 3 launches from Gulf Coast at Starbase in Texas, and 2 Super Heavy booster catches with Starship's 7th and 8th test flights. We know on Flight 9, no Super Heavy booster catch was attempted. Now, according to some current speculations going on, guess the Starship test flight 10 will be in the second week of August if everything goes as planned. Now for landing, they will be nailing it for the 89th time this year. Most of the landings are on droneship with 78 landings. Today, it will be the 28th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas for this year. And as of now, A Shortfall of Gravitas is leading among the droneship fleet. For ground landings, they pulled off 11 of them previously. Now, SpaceX is currently working on adding a landing pad at the East Coast in order to retain the return to launch site, that is the RTLS capabilities, as SpaceX's lease for landing zone 1 and 2 expires this month, that is in July. And I guess it will be a single landing zone, unlike now where we have 2 of them. Also worth mentioning, the Crew 11's launch will be the last landing at the East Coast on current active landing zones, if they won't be renewing the lease for the landing zone 1 and 2. Prior to today's launch, the success rate for ground landing is 98.91%. For droneship landing, it is 96.99%, and the overall landing success rate is 97.35%. For this year, the landing success rate dropped to 98.87% due to the failure of booster with tail number 1086 to successfully land on Just Read the Instructions droneship during Starlink Group 12-20 mission. Today's launch is the 155th mission since last unsuccessful mission, that is the Starlink 9-3 mission. Once again, this page of stats are prior to today's launch, and what we have is 154 successful launches since last mission failure, 64 successful landings since last landing failure, 364 missions with at least one reuse fairing, and approximately 696 number of fairing halves were reused prior to today's launch, with the fairing half reused to reach 32 times. Now moving on to this year's orbital launches, including today's one. With this 160th orbital launch of the year, United States is leading with 106 launches with 66.3%, followed by China with 37 launches, Russia with 9 launches, 2 launches each by Japan and India, and Europe with 4 launches. Australia is just about to debut with the launch of Ares rocket, now scheduled no earlier than July 28th. Once again, they pushed back by 1 day for the launch. Now we have this pie chart showing 2025 orbital launches by rocket variations, including today's launch. As Falcon 9 gears up for its 91st launch, we have this pie chart for you. Now, while you check out the pie chart, let me check if the stream is rolling or not, as it's time for the webcast to begin. Well, it's live. That's nice, quite on time. So let's head over and please um, provide me a couple of seconds to set things up. So there we have the stream rolling. Currently, SpaceX is having some pre-launch tune going on. I'll patch the mission audio feed once it drops. Now, adding value to your viewing experience here at AstroYonder is our top priority. If you felt we somewhat achieved that, please consider liking this stream. It really helps others to find this stream. Also consider subscribing to our channel as we work hard to bring our streams packed with stats, details, and insights.
Thanks. Are pressing for strong back recheck.
So there we have the live view of Falcon 9. And we got the call out that the tanks are pressurizing for the strong back retract process to initiate. Now, meanwhile, would like to welcome Fairmate joining us, one of our another moderator, showing up after I guess 1 or 2 months. We missed you, Fairmate, so much. Really, I hope I can soon communicate with you on X. I'll be telling you why that I couldn't talk to you meanwhile. But thanks for coming, Fairmed. I hope you are doing well and everything is good at your end. Really missed you, and even Pop Tripica is missing for so many days. We were talking in between about you and Pop Tripica, and hopefully we didn't upset you for any other reason. If we did, please tell us. Now, currently, we got the call out for strong back retract process to commence, and we got some closer views of the Falcon 9, and we will be seeing those clamp arms underneath the payload fairing to open up, and the strong transporter erector, also known as the strong back, reclining about 1.5 degrees away from the Falcon 9. While we are watching this live view of Falcon 9, a couple of important steps were completed. The spacecraft team switched to its internal power a few minutes ago, and fueling of Falcon 9's first stage is finished, meaning all the RP-1 propellant is now on board. We are still loading the liquid oxygen on both the first and second stages, and we'll be listening in a couple of minutes for the LOX load completion for both the stages. And already we got one call out among the two. Stage 1 LOX load is complete. We are currently chilling in the Merlin engine's backup from T minus 7 minutes. Stage 2 LOX 1 is complete. We are still loading liquid oxygen on the first stage, the second stage that will finish up just inside T minus 2 minutes mark. Although it's an early launch from Florida, but the view looks quite
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
beautiful there. And we got the call out. Stage 2 LOX load is complete. All the propellants are now on board the Falcon 9 with massive 1 million pounds of propellant. We are now beginning to bend down the pressure that was remaining in the tubing on the strong back. That's why we can see those clouds coming out there.
Ground gas closeouts.
Call out for ground gas closeout. That's where we bleed the extra pressure off, and that cold gas, when it reacts with the moist humid air, gives us this nice nice white cloud, which is an healthy indicator of launch coming up. Next event T minus 1 minute, we should be hearing the call out that the Falcon 9 flight computers are in startup and controlling the rocket for the remainder of the countdown.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Right on time, Falcon 9 flight computers on both the stages are running the rocket to the last minute of count. Now let's listen into the go call out.
Launch director is go for launch.
SpaceX launch director giving go for the launch. We are coming up closely to T minus 30 seconds. All systems continues to remain go for the launch of Falcon 9 and Starlink. Now let's sit back and enjoy the liftoff views. SpaceX as well will be giving us some incredible views of the ground tracking views of the Falcon 9.
T minus 15 seconds. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
So we have a successful liftoff. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower. We are currently into 25 seconds into the flight. Falcon 9 on its way with 28 Starlinks into low Earth orbit. We got some healthy callouts. M1 E chamber pressure is nominal.
Power telemetry nominal.
Once again, some more healthy callouts. Power and telemetry is nominal. We are right now into a throttle bucket,
Supersonic.
throttling down the 9 Merlin engines, preparing for the period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. We heard the call out for vehicle being supersonic. That means Falcon 9 have exceeded Mach 1, and we did got the call out for Max Q as well. So right now we are through the period of maximum stress on the vehicle. We have throttled the 9 Merlin engines back up to full power once again. Next up, we will be hearing the call out for MVAC engine chill.
AVAC chill started.
There we go, we got the call out for MVAC engine chill. So currently we are now starting to chill down the MVAC engine on the second stage in preparation for its ignition right after stage separation. Just after a couple of seconds, we will be having 3 events in rapid succession. First, the main engine cutoff, also known as MECO on the first stage, followed by stage separation, and then the first ignition of the second stage MVAC engine, also known as SES-1, which will be boosting the payload to the low Earth orbit. So let's listen in to those callouts while watching this magnificent views we are getting from the Falcon 9's first stage.
Miko. Stage separation confirmed. Impact decision.
We just got the callouts for all the back-to-back milestones. Next up is the fairing separation confirmation. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the Falcon 9's first stage. Flight computers commanded the 4 hypersonic titanium grid fins to start deploying. We got the call out that the fairing has successfully separated. Right now, the Falcon 9 first stage will rise towards the apogee before descending back towards the landing on droneship A Shortfall of Gravitas stationed in Atlantic Ocean, supporting today's mission. Second stage, meanwhile, with its full capacity in middle of its 6-minute burn, is on its way into the parking orbit with 28 Starlink satellites payload on board. Now today we have our moderator joining us after a long while, who always keep track of the Falcon 9's first stage apogee. I guess today it's 112 as of now. Well, Fahmed, I'm sorry for that, and I didn't knew that you have a dog as well. But I pray for the good health of your boy or girl. I hope soon I can talk to you in person so that we can talk a little in a good way, not on a stream. But please do take care of your child as well as yourself. Now, meanwhile, let me give you some updates. SpaceX Crew Dragon Endeavour arrived at the hangar at Pad 39A in Florida on July 24th, ahead of its 6th flight to space station with NASA's Crew 11 that is scheduled no earlier than Thursday, July 31st. Also, Gilmore Space in Australia is preparing to launch the inaugural flight of its Ares Block 1 rocket targeting July 28, 2025 from Bowen Orbital Spaceport launch site in North Queensland. Once again, they pushed back the launch, but this time by 1 day, again due to the unfavorable weather conditions. It is the first Australian-made rocket aiming for orbit from Australian soil. And also, I guess someone on YouTube is streaming the event with the help of AussieNaut. You can check it out, but it's not an official stream, but at least we will be able to see the launch. So our moderator confirming that the first stage apogee is 115 kilometers before descending back towards its landing site. Now currently we are preparing for the first stage to make its return to the drone ship. Next up is the call out for stage 1 entry burn startup. And there is a confirmation with just lit 3 of the 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. Now we are rapidly slowing down the vehicle, as you can see on the bottom left hand side of your screen from the telemetry, and this burn should last just around 25 seconds.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there we go, there's the confirmation. We got the confirmation of shutdown of the entry burn on the first stage and some healthy callouts for both the stages for following nominal trajectory. Now just a heads up, when we will be hearing stage 2 FTS being saved, it means the orbital insertion burn for the second stage is complete. Next up, we are expecting the call out for stage 1 being transonic. Well, Fairmade, I didn't understood what you meant by this. Are this those persons who will be streaming the event for the ED's launch? And um, honestly, I was thinking that you went near the Queensland or somewhere to your relatives or somewhere maybe to watch the launch, and for that you were not here joining us. But anyways, you showed up. Really, we are so much happy to have you back with us. And we got the call out meanwhile, stage one being transonic. We are less than 30 seconds away from stage one to make its landing. Next up is the landing burn, stage one's landing burn.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
So there we go. Great views of the landing burn with center E9 engine now lit. We are slowing down the vehicle furthermore very rapidly. Should be seeing those landing legs deploy any seconds now. Stage 1 landing leg deployed.
Stage 1 landing confirmed. Stage 2 FTS is saved.
And there we have it, the successful 460th landing of an orbital class Falcon 9 rocket. We did got the call out for stage 2 FTS being saved. Coming up next, we will have the second stage engine cutoff, that is SECO 1, and we got the visual confirmation as well as the call out, completing its around 6 minutes of burn. And following this event, the second stage will enter into about 46 minutes of post phase as the vehicle ascends to its target orbit for the payload deployment. So there we go, the callouts we were waiting for. Second stage engine cutoff, SECO 1, and we are getting some good views out there for the Starlink payload. So we did got the call out for the stage 2 engine cutoff, that is SECO 1, as well as the confirmation of good nominal orbit. Although we didn't got a long period of view of those Starlink stack out there, but we got a little bit of glimpse of that. It looks quite fascinating. Now, today's launch marks SpaceX's 590th successful mission and the landing marking their 479th success. And this launch also marked the 284th dedicated Starlink launch. Now, before moving on, would like to thanks Fairmaid, Angry Bird, and Simon Haga. Simon Haga and Fairmaid joining us after a long while. Really missed you, and thanks for tuning in. And really, Fairmaid, after you told me about Not, I am following him, and maybe with his help, someone will be streaming. I saw a stream scheduled on YouTube that they will be streaming. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, Fairmaid. Take care of yourself and your dog as well. We hope to see you soon. So with that, we will wrap our coverage for now. But before that, we want to thank everyone for joining us. And most importantly, we want to thank with all our heart to you all, because we really can't do this broadcast without your support. And we are grateful for your continued encouragement for everything what we do here at AstroYonder. Also, be sure to check out our social media handle on X for the latest happenings in the space industry and updates on upcoming launches. I guess link got posted in the chat section. If not, please do search us on X. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We really appreciate everyone joining us for today's launch. Wishing you a nice week ahead. Once again, thanks for watching. This is AstroYonder Live and me, Dipta, signing off for now, and we will see you next time.